come from Mindanao. Just by the way he spoke, obviously well educated, because he spoke English fluently. And we started talking about the reason he came here, and I gathered that he'd been offered a job at a call centre or something. There's a lot of call centres here, and customer service centres, a bit like India. They're developing them here, and he was for some reason turned down, and out of shame or just lack of money he decided to stay rather than go back and tell his parents that he failed. Now I wanted to help him in whatever way I could. I gave him a bit of money, and I bought some cheap cigarettes and a lighter for him. I wanted to give them to him, but I haven't seen him for a couple of days now. A bit like the story of Scruffy the horse. There could be two endings. One was he found a job and everything ended happily ever after, or the other ending could be not so nice. But couldn't find it. But there were a middle-aged couple walking along the promenade, which deserted, and the husband decided to go down the boat ramp. And I know from experience, having been there with Roger the urchin merchant, that it's very, very slippery as you get towards the bottom, where it's green actually. Green should warn you, but this guy was going quite fast down there, and I thought I'll call out and tell him to stop before he does himself an injury. So I shouted out, "Stop, it's very dangerous." The woman didn't really understand me, and she said, "Oh, it's against the law?" I said, "No, but it's very slippery." Then she called out to her husband, guess in what language? Russian. So there was me helping a Russian couple. I would do that anyway, but so instead of saying thank you very much, she said, "Of course we knew that." I thought, well, there you are, typical Russians. So I said, "Go Pobachina" in Ukrainian to them, and they went a little bit white around the gills. Not that I would. There are quite a lot of Russians here. What I like is for just one Russian to come up knowing that I'm from Ukraine and apologising for what his government was doing to Ukraine, but they don't. And we had this discussion. Oh well, they've come here to escape Putin's regime. Well, with the older couple, I don't know why they were here. Perhaps they're on holiday. But the younger men didn't come here. Some may have done, but most of them came here to escape being drafted and fed into the meat grinder that is the war for the Russians. They were interviewing one of our commanders at the front, who said, "Yeah, well, we're losing here because we're just outgunned, artillery-wise and tank-wise." And he said, "But for every Ukrainian soldier that dies here, we've killed 10 Russians." But Putin doesn't care about that. They're just pawns that he uses, and they throw them into attacks. As many as 100 attacks a day, because they've got a huge number of soldiers and army brigades massed around where they're hoping to break completely through the line. Anyway, let's stop talking about that. Sorry, I don't know. Shouldn't be talking about the war. I can't forget it because people I love and respect are there, which means all of the Ukrainian people. My dogs are in keys, so they're not safe. Put that down for a moment. Yeah, the dogs are in keys. Tatiana, who took them from me, very kindly took both of them, because most people wanted my Labrador, but they didn't want putting the little strange looking street dog. She actually is growing up to look quite nice. Well, she looks a bit cute, looks a bit goofy and cute, but she's a pretty dog now. And I just delayed my departure till I could find out. Well, I thought I would have to have Pudding put down. There's no way I could let her go back to being a street dog. Here's the guy who walks every morning with his dog, and he's not very friendly, so he's not walking this way. He's going to walk around the road. I asked one of the fishermen, did he not like foreigners, or what's the problem with him? He said, don't worry David, he just doesn't like anyone. A bit like my landlord. And in return, no one likes him. A bit like my landlord. They all know my landlord, they hate him, even in the 7-Eleven. He's so rude to them. He just goes in there to buy an ice cream. You know, being 120 kilos is not enough. So, and he's rude to them, and he's rude to the neighbours. He said terrible things about the neighbours, who turned out to be perfectly fine. He accused one of the neighbours of being a paedophile, and I thought, well, hot kettle here, because he's into, I wouldn't say underage girls, but he's certainly into young girls. Doesn't bear thinking about, because he's a big guy, tall, extremely unfit, very fat. I don't know what attracts him. Money, I suppose. Well, it's quite busy, that big ship's gone through. And I have a feeling it's headed for Seabourn off Donaghadee. Sorry, the life-giving effect of smoking a cigarette in the early morning. Now this is interesting, the light service has shut down, almost completely. It's given way to murky sky, just where the sun will rise. So let's see if the sun will rise in front or behind that cloud. Rises out of the sea, you know. And really you can't see any monsters this morning. There's another ship, cargo ship, smaller one. So we've got the big one in sight, 3 ferries in sight, and the smaller cargo ship. If I have a look at my phone, oh, we're getting more oxygen bottles. So they actually have their own oxygen machine. It's a very well set up, slick operation, this Korean place. So it's pretty. I should have asked the Scandinavian diving instructor how much they charge the Koreans, even though I couldn't go there. It must be a lot. Darwin has got lots of these dive resorts. I think this is the only one within the confines of Batman. But if you look at it, it's extremely well made, well constructed. Looks like very nice streets with veranda, individual veranda, with split air conditioning, so it's quiet. Now who is this? Another stranger here. Might be coming back to Watford here. But they ought to give me a job. I'm here half the night. Oh, this is a black man, African or American black man. I often say black man, or Afro, I don't know, whatever is the politically correct term now. I mean, I've spent a good part of my life, working life in Africa, and African people called each other black. But when my driver had an accident, my assistant said, "You silly black man." Oh, more people in the sea. Oh, the girls are still preening themselves with their probably TikTok photos. So there's the old man, sitting where he sits every morning. Young girls in their phones. Just got sprayed. The tide's still coming up. How high it will be, I don't know. Morning. Lovely morning. Did you see the red sky? Fantastic. So that freighter is headed for Mbugatti by the look of it.